episode 6 of the Made by Jo Crafty Podcast. My name is Jo. I'm a knitter, sewer and crocheter based in Fife in Scotland, and this is my small place on YouTube to talk about all the things I've been working on recently, anything that I've finished or purchased in the last month or so. Firstly, I just want to say it has been a while. How is everyone doing? I had a crazy 2 weeks at the end of November, beginning of December with work, and then since it's been just as hectic, if I'm honest. So I haven't had time to sit down and film, but I wanted to make sure to get one more episode out before the end of the year. I said at the very beginning in episode 1 that I was going to give this my best shot until the end of this year, and then if I was still enjoying it I would keep going, and I've decided that I am enjoying sharing my making every 3 weeks or so, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy, and I like to see everyone responding to me in the comments, and I love watching content, so I'm happy to keep producing content. So I will be continuing after the new year, which is very exciting, but this will be the last episode of 2023. I also wanted to say, I asked in my last episode about potentially if anyone was interested in me doing a Christmas ornament, sort of what Christmas ornaments can you make video, and I sat down to film it in almost exactly the same position as this, but I just felt uncomfortable. It wasn't the same as a chatty podcast, it was a bit more of a formal video, and I found that a little bit weird. So I started filming it, filmed about 20 minutes, and then decided that it wasn't for me, so apologies. There are some lovely videos out there. I know that Typical Bliss has recently done a new video, as has Hip Knit. Is it Hip Knit? Hooray! I'll be lying if I said I knew who this person was, but I know they've done an amazing video with 40 odd ornaments that you can knit, so I will link that down below as well. The Woolly Worker sent that to me, so I definitely know what it's about. So I'll send that over to you if it's something you're still interested in, and I apologise that it was not something that I felt comfortable doing. I guess the easiest way to start, and the way we always start, is with what I am wearing, and I am so excited to come to you with a finished object. This is my first finished object as well, and for those of you who have been watching the podcast since it started, I'm pretty sure I've shown this in almost every single episode. This is my Christmas Happiness cardigan. It is by Urus, I think is her first name, and I can never pronounce her second name, but she goes by Vogs Knits on Instagram, and I will also put her name up on the screen as I always do. This cardigan is a fully colourwork cardigan. I'll sit up a bit. It goes, whoa, falling over. It goes all the way down. It's a full body colourwork, and then it is steeked. It's a steeked cardigan, and then the button band is added afterwards. I made my sleeves have no increases, and then I rapid decreased at no decreases, and then I rapid decreased at the end and did a really tight cuff, because that's what I decided I would like best. And I did it in 3 colours rather than all the colours, and I'm blooming obsessed with it. I would be lying if I said to you that I wove in the ends that you could see just before this video. So this is the first time I'm actually wearing it. I have shown it to everyone that has come to my house though, because I just love it so much. I started this cardigan in February last year. I found it about November 2022 and just was like, Jo, there's absolutely no way you're getting a fingering weight colourwork cardigan done in less than 2 months. So quite sensibly decided not to do it for last year, but I cast this on in February this year to give myself plenty of time, and like I say, I finished this last week. So it took me a long time. I didn't knit it monogamously. I think I realistically would have got it done in about a month and a half if I had knit it monogamously, but that's just not how I wanted to do it. So I have been working on this on and off since February. So I'm really happy that it's off the needles, if I'm perfectly honest. The first sleeve, I knit the whole thing, steeked it, did the button band, and then did the sleeves. And I did the first sleeve in about a week, and the second sleeve I did in a day. Because I was like, get this gone. So I think in about 24 hours I knit the vast majority, if not all, of this sleeve. It's catching on my turtleneck, so it's not sitting as nice on the arms, but it is a little bit baggy down here, and then the tighter cuff. What can I say about this? It is knit all of the colours are Filocolana Arveta, the white is San Nisgarn Sisu, and I still have a bunch of skeins left of the colours. I have one skein of red, one skein of green, one skein of white, and then I have loads of leftovers of the other colours that I use throughout. I use more of them down here, to be honest. But yeah, I've spoken about this so often, I don't really have that much to say other than it's done. It is done by my standards. I know that Venetia from The Woolly Worker would say it's not done because, and you might notice there are a couple of ends that I haven't snipped yet, so if you see them poking out throughout the video, I apologise. And it also doesn't have any buttons, so I have chosen my buttons and I ordered my buttons a long time ago. These are snowflake buttons, they are ceramic, and I bought mine from Ginger Twist Studio in Edinburgh. I bought one set and then decided I did in fact want 6 buttons rather than 5, so I had to buy an entire other set. So I have 4 snowflake buttons left, or I will have 4 snowflake buttons left that need a project. So I'll be looking for a small Christmassy thing that I can add these to next year maybe. But these will be going on this side of my cardigan, and I think we'll really tie it together. I just haven't had time to do this yet, so I am planning on doing this ASAP Rocky. So those will be my buttons for my Christmas happiness cardigan, which I know I keep looking at it, but I absolutely love it. I think it's really, really cute. The other thing I wanted to say about this pattern is I started it in February a long time ago, before I had too much knowledge about understanding patterns and pattern sizes and everything else. This pattern is not size inclusive, but I had already purchased it prior to knowing about size inclusivity and really having it come on my agenda and supporting it. So I knit this, I had to knit the size large. That's why I say it's not size inclusive. I am a size UK 10. I have a 36-inch bust, I think, and a 30-inch waist, and I knit the size large. And I'll do a clip of me spinning around and showing you this. It doesn't fit particularly oversized on me either. I would say it's closer to fitted, or at least straight, rather than oversized, so it is not that size inclusive. It does do extra small to extra large, I think, but yeah, it's not the most size inclusive pattern, so I apologise for that. But like I say, I had bought the pattern and I had already started working on it before I really understood, and I wanted to keep working on it after that. So this is done. I love it. I think it's adorable. I think it's classy, even though it's fun. The words say, "May your days be," and on the back it says "Merry and Bright," which I also think is just adorable. And I can't wait to wear this actually during this festive season. So this is my first finished object, and I think it's actually my only knit finished object. Yep, it is my only knit finished object, because the rest of my stuff is rapidly getting finished, or should be getting finished in the next few days. So I'm going to move on to, I think I'm just going to move on to whips. I've got some sewing finished objects, but they'll come up through the whips, so I think I'll just do it that way. Oh, I've just remembered my other finished object is my Christmas tree skirt. Last time I showed you the quilt top of my Christmas tree skirt, which I was using a blog pattern to create, and I have finished it. I will insert a clip of it because it is currently right behind me with presents on it, so I will insert a clip of it and I'll take the presents out from under the tree so you can see it in its full glory. I absolutely love it. I think it's adorable. I'm so glad I saved up all of the fabric that I've been stocking since last year to make it work, and it really has made our tree come together. I think it's super duper amazing, and I'm really proud of it. And actually, it's just reminded me of another finished object that I was going to forget to mention, and that is my December bow by Petite Knit. So I'm going to pause for 2 seconds because it's currently sitting at the top of my tree, and pop up and get it, and then I will be right back. Sorry about that, just had to grab this. This is my bow, my December bow by Petite Knit, and it is our tree topper for this year. So I knit this, gosh, I don't even know when, end of November I think, because I wanted it to sit on the top of our tree, and it's been the perfect little ornament to do so. This is knit in some leftover drops extra fine merino in red that I had from making my nephew a jumper last year. I think I had to use it was just one skein that I had to use to get this done, and it really didn't take me that long at all. It is a garter stitch bow that you knit in one long piece and then basically sew into a bow shape, and then you knit this little double knit band that goes around the bow. I am using like cable tie. No, it's not a cable tie. I don't really know what it is. It's this sort of thing that you get around parcels sometimes. You might have some that you get around kids' toys at this time of year that hold them in boxes, and we happen to have a gold one lying around, so I have just threaded that. Let me try and do it now. Threaded that through the back of the double knit tie section, and then I just twisted it into a small loop and used that to sit it on the top of our Christmas tree. Originally I had thought to put a hair bobble through the double knit section and use that as a way to attach to the tree, but only remembered that after I'd sewed it all together and I didn't want to go back and fix it. So a little cable tie has worked perfectly, and it just makes the tree look so cute, if I'm honest. I love it. Between that and the Christmas tree skirt, the tree is like topped and tailed with hand knit things, and I'm super proud of it. So this will be an item that comes out every year for us. But yeah, that is my December bow by Petite Knit, and I would recommend the pattern. So just pop that down on the floor. I'll put it back on the tree later. Right, now we're moving on to whips. So I'm going to start with something that you've seen a couple times, so I won't have to go through that much of it. That is my Urus sweater by MadebyJo Knit. I have been working on this for quite a while now, and it just lives in this delightful mesh bag. So if I take it out, it is officially finished with the cabling. I now only have the neck 2x2 ribbing to do and the hem 2x2 ribbing to do. So if I sit back a bit, this is my jumper. So I've got one sleeve, then the body, and then the next sleeve, and it is officially finished the cables, and I'm so pleased with it. This, I'll give you all the specs for it. This is the Urus sweater by MadebyJo Knit. I knit the first size. Again, this pattern I purchased a long time ago before I really understood the ins and outs of size inclusivity, so it only has 3 sizes, all of which are expected to have 40 centimetres of positive ease. So there's a whole thing about it, but there's only 3 sizes and it wants 40 centimetres of positive ease. So it's not a size inclusive pattern. So I'm not planning on buying from MadebyJo Knit again. It's just something I had already purchased and wanted to work on. So I have knit the size 1, the smallest size, and it is sitting pretty large on me. Again, I'll insert a clip of me wearing it as it is just now. I've knit mine in Noro Madara in the colour Yen. It was my first time ever using Noro Madara. It's my first time ever using Noro, and I am really enjoying it. I think it looks really nice. I think the speckling is really nice throughout it. I don't think it's going to be itchy on me, which is nice. I think it's got a little bit of silk in it, Madara, so that might be contributing to the non-itch factor. But as I rub my fingers through this, Noro does have random, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but Noro comes with like random sticks and stuff in it. So you just have to be careful you don't get one of those actually in your work if you can avoid it. Noro is very expensive, I will say that. I managed to get it on a deal through another YouTuber's discount code, so I was happy to buy it this time. I'm not sure if I would immediately be rushing back to get it again. I would purchase it again in the future. I've seen other people use different types of Noro and it's looked lovely. But yeah, I'm not desperate to run back to it. It didn't wow me in a way that other yarns that are much cheaper do or don't. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm very excited to get this done, to get the ribbing done. I just haven't had time with some gift knits I'm trying to get to a specific point before Christmas time. So this, I'm hoping to get the ribbing done in the gap between Christmas and New Year and be able to wear it throughout the rest of the winter. I'm not going to talk too much more about this because I've talked about it several times now. And there's now a car alarm going off. BRB. joys of living in a new build estate. Well, I guess you can get a car alarm anywhere, so that was a bit harsh of me. But yeah, I'm filming downstairs today so I could get the Christmas tree and it would feel a little bit festive. So we are right next to the road. So apologies if you hear any road noise because people also live here. Like there's now some random beeping that I can hear. Where is that coming from? Just the slowest moving truck ever, sorry. So yeah, that is my Urus sweater. I said last time that I wanted it to be done. I'm done the cables, so I kind of half got that goal. But yeah, ribbing will be done ASAP, and then I will have a finished Urus sweater in the next episode. I'm sure of it this time. Okay, next whip is a gift knit. So if you're a family member of mine, please click off this video now because I'm going to be showing gift knits and talking about gift knits, and I don't want to ruin Christmas for you 3 or 4 days before Christmas. So any of my family members, whooshed off of this please, because I don't want you to be spoiled. Are you gone? Have you gone? I've also just noticed a spider on my wall. Lovely, lovely. Right, oh, sorry. This is my zipper sweater that I have been working on for my mother. I've shown this a couple times, but I think last time it was very small. I'd maybe just worked the yoke. Maybe? I'm not really sure where I was last time, but we have made some significant progress on this one. So this is now, oh, I never know how to hold these. This is now a full jumper and I'm working on the ribbing. So the story behind this one is that a long time ago, I would say maybe October time, my mum went out for her sort of monthly coffee meetup that she does with some of her friends, and they, sorry if you can hear Albie as well, he's lying on the sofa. They go for a monthly coffee meetup and they meet at a garden centre, and my mum sent me this photo, insert here, and she said, that one like this please. Now my mum is a knitter and a crocheter and she fully appreciates how much effort that jumper will have taken, so she was entirely meaning it as a joke, but I was sitting on my lunch when she sent it to me and immediately bought the yarn because I have no self-control, and I thought she's asked me for it so I need to make it. I am also, for people that haven't been here, making a zipper sweater for my dad, which has been in vest with no sleeve form for the last 2 episodes I think, and it still sits that way. I'm intending on gifting both my mum and my dad these jumpers without sleeves, and then just saying to them, obviously I will finish the sleeves before you get these, but I'm not going to kill myself to try and get them fully finished before Christmas. Today, as I'm filming, it's the 21st of December, so there's no way I'm getting 4 sleeves done in 4 days with the other stuff I also want to work on, and I think my family will be fine with that. They'll just appreciate that I've made them something. So anyway, I bought that yarn for my mum's jumper. I then cast on my dad's zipper sweater, got it to vest form, and then I cast on my mum's pretty quickly after I'd got my dad's to vest form. But it's a bigger size than I usually do, and I also adjusted the yarn. So I am using, where is it? Let me find a ball that's not currently being used. I'm using the Drops Merino Extra Fine in a variety of different colours for this project, and if anyone knows the zipper sweater, they'll know that you knit it's a worsted weight, or it's a DK and fingering or something like that, and this is a flat DK weight yarn, so I needed to do some maths. So my mum is probably, she doesn't like as much oversized, she doesn't like as much positive ease as the pattern recommends, so she's probably a size 3 or a size 4, but I'm knitting a size 5 so that I can get the same measurements with this gauge that I had. So sorry, let me just take a drink. Jeez Louise. I've got a lingering cold that doesn't seem to be going away. It does mean that this is a lot of knitting, it's a lot of stitches, and it has taken me quite a while, but I'm pretty pleased with how it's going. The only other yarn I'm using throughout the project, I just want to quickly mention, is the Drops Alpaca Boucle. I decided to combine the white extra fine merino and the boucle for the sheep, which I'll show you in a minute, so I have been using this as well. But yes, I basically have used my knowledge of the zipper sweater pattern, having made one for my boyfriend and one for my dad, plus a drops pattern, which is called Sheep Happens, something like that, which I think is quite funny. But they had a free pattern on their website. It's for a cardigan, but it gave me the sheep chart, and I just inserted that in the bottom and then used the image as a guide and as inspiration for what I wanted to do. So it is a regular zipper sweater at the start until you split for the sleeves, and then I've just started to insert some colour work throughout from that point. And then obviously I've done the little sheep motifs, and then I'm working on dark green for the ribbing, which you can see there. I should have enough yarn to repeat the motifs on the sleeves, but I'm going to ask my mum if she wants just a repeat of the bottom sheep on the bottom cuff, or if she wants them all blue, or just wants one sheep on them. I'm going to ask her in advance. The jumper she sent me originally does just repeat the full thing on the sleeves, but because it's quite a lot of colour work and it's quite a lot of yarn in the back, I think it would be quite bulky at the sleeves, so I'll ask her advice. That's the other good thing about not finishing it for her for Christmas. She can try this on, double check it's all fine, and then I can make sure I get the sleeves the right length, because I find sleeves really difficult to get right. The body's not so bad because you can have something that's slightly cropped or slightly longer, but sleeves, you really want them to fit. If you had them stupidly long or stupidly short, it would really annoy whoever you've given it to. So I'm really happy with this, long story short. I really wanted to get the ribbing done so I could show you it in the video and be like, I've reached my goal. But I was sitting last night at 11:30 just thinking, you just need to go to bed. And it was my intention to do it this morning, but I just didn't. So I'm going to finish the ribbing today, and then that will be it in the state of which I'm planning on gifting it to my mum. And then we'll be doing the sleeves after Christmas. So this is my mum's zipper sweater with the little sheep motif, and I'm really proud of it, considering it's hacked and based off of a photo. So that is whip number 2. Like I said, my dad's zipper sweater has had 0 progress and won't have any progress till after Christmas, so I'm not going to bother showing you his, but it's a maroon zipper sweater that I'm knitting in Drops Nepal, but it's in previous episodes if you want to have a look at it, because I've not got it with me today. Right. I've just got 2 more little whips to do, and then sort of some finished or some next projects that I've got to work on, and then a little bit of acquisitions, and then we'll be done today. So today's quite a quick episode, I think. I find that over Christmas I am focusing on particular projects. So I have had castonitis so bad. I've cast on one thing because I kept saying to myself, oh, just get to this stage. So just finish your cardigan, then you can cast something on. Just finish your Urus, then you can cast something on. Because for a while there I had 7 or 8 projects on the go, and I was really struggling to motivate myself to work on some of them. So I am still in that sort of stage where I really want to cast a bunch of things on, but realistically I need to get some of this stuff done with Christmas being in 4 days. So yeah, I haven't cast on as much as I want to, but I'm looking forward to what I've got to cast on in the future. Right, I'm going to check my camera because sometimes the battery dies on me, and then I will be back and we'll talk about the last couple of whips. Okay, so this also brings me to my other sewing whip. So in December I took part in a couple of Advent-y type swaps. So I took part in the Creabea Scrappy Advent swap, and I had a partner with a lovely lady in London, and we did the 12-day 10-gram swap. So we swapped all of our scrappy things, and then we put a variety of things together, so little stitch markers, sweeties, that sort of thing, and added them to the bag. For my swap, I showed in the last episode that I made them a project bag. It was inspired by the Petite Knit sort of drawstring bucket bag, I guess, but I also took part in another swap, which was the La Mercerie sock swap. So you traditionally swap a sock skein or a sock set, and then she sends you over a bunch of information about the person you're swapping with, so hobbies and interests that they have. And then you sort of curate a box of some of your favourite things because they kind of match your hobbies that you like to do together. So I like cycling and baking and my and being outdoorsy and walking my dog. And the lady that I had, who actually comes from the Outer Hebrides in Scotland, had a lot of the same hobbies. So we were able to swap sort of baking things and stuff like that. So long story short is I wanted to make them a project bag as well, but because I wasn't doing a big yarn delivery, I didn't want to do one of the big project bags, so I wanted to make them a small zipper bag, just a little sock project bag that they could use, and I could put all their yarn and their gifts in. So I don't know if I have a picture of theirs, but I made them a little project bag that had cork, gold sparkled cork on the bottom, and then a green snowflake pattern on the top half, so it was like split in two parts, and it had a zipper along the top, and it perfectly fit all the things that I wanted to gift her inside. But in order to make sure I got the project bags perfect, I had to do a couple of tests. So this was my first test of the project bag that I made. Now it is too slopey at the sides and it's a little bit shorter than what I had wanted, so that's why I didn't gift this one. I kept it for myself, but it still works perfectly functionally for me. It's got an adorable little Christmas pattern on it, and then some light greeny olive colour faux leather on the bottom. Just noticing it's also got something on it, gross. And then it's just got a lovely little star zipper pull on it, and then the inside is just red. So that was my first go, and then obviously decided to keep it for myself because it wasn't quite right. And then my second go was the one I gifted, which I don't have with me, for my Le Mercerie sock swap, and I also made one that looks like this. So I actually made two of these. One was for a gift for a Secret Santa for another knitter that is with them now, and this was the second one, so I gave them the better of the two. So this one isn't perfect, but it is really blooming adorable, and again, entirely functional. So it's just got these adorable blue Christmas trees on, and then this fabric on the bottom, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's kind of like sparkly and shimmery. And I think I've shown it in a previous episode actually as an acquisition, that fabric. And it's just got the red lining inside as well. So these two project bags plus the two I've now gifted, I have sewn over the last month or so. And that's taken up quite a lot of my time trying to organise myself for scrappy swaps and things like that. So I have done quite a lot of sewing this month, which has been nice because I've been missing it. And I'm looking forward to sewing in the new year. I asked for quite a few sewing-y type presents for Christmas, so I'm hoping that if I am to receive them from family, that'll make my sewing experience so much more pleasant in the new year, and I'll be able to work a lot more on things for myself. So these technically are finished objects in the sewing realm, but I wanted to just show them to you as we got to them. So I will start with this one, because this is a one I showed you in the last episode. This is my Musselburgh hat. The Musselburgh hat is a pattern by Ysolde Teague. It is a big, long tube of a hat that you fold inside itself, so it's double layered the whole way. And I've been working on this for my boyfriend. I made myself a Musselburgh hat. I was looking to find it, but I have no idea where it is. I made myself a Musselburgh hat last year. It was my Christmas Day cast on last year. And I love it, and my partner really loved the fit of it, so he asked me to make him one. So I cast this on a couple months ago in partnership with alongside my mum, who was also casting one on. My mum finished her one in 2 weeks, I think, because she just she knit 10 rows every single day and got it done, and it wasn't a problem. She has also now made a second one and is working on her third one, and I still haven't finished this one that I'm making for Angus. So this is how far I've got. I think I have made a little bit of progress since last time. I typically take it as commuting knitting, or if I'm not really thinking about knitting. It, as you can see, has some yarn pulling. I, believe it or not, am doing helical knitting, which you might be able to see the line. There's a line here where I'm swapping the yarns. And this is what we've got. I mentioned last time it was annoying me. It's annoying me less and less because I'm just caring about it less and less. I think the colours are beautiful in themselves. This yarn is Avada Kedavra, by, Amo Yarns, which I bought at the Scottish Yarn Festival last year, when it was called the Perth Yarn Festival. And it's a really, really stunning yarn. So I'm just leaning into how much I like it and ignoring the fact that the main colour kind of spirals throughout. I've shown this to my boyfriend, he loves it, he doesn't know it's colour pooling, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm just going to continue to work on this as and when I can. There's no rush, no pressure. My boyfriend's birthday is in January, so if I could get it finished for then, that would be fab, but I'm not going to push myself because I've got a lot of other gift knits going on. So that is a long-term whip for me, but it's living in this adorable little Christmas bag just now, because I thought if I'm making these bags I may as well make the most of them in the festive period, even if the projects aren't particularly festive. So that is my last whip that you have seen before, and my final whip that I'm going to show you is a new one. So this is the cast on I allowed myself to cast on after finishing this cardigan. It has taken up more of my time than I wanted it to. I would be finished my mum's jumper by now if I had stopped working on this, but it is just addictive. So this is a pair of socks, a pair of Christmassy socks, and it actually is also an acquisition. So in the UK, there's a company called Bird Street Yarns. It used to be called Mr. Bird Street, so their Instagram is still Mr. Bird Street, but they are called Bird Street Yarns. Let me get it out. Hand dyed by Claire and John, and I really love their yarn. It's self-striping, it's adorable, and they make really good colourways. So I had been so strong and had been ignoring all of their Christmas drops until I can't even remember what it was, but it was a treat myself purchase for some reason. I did something and it was a treat yourself purchase, and I'm so happy I did because the yarn itself is stunning. I don't know if I showed you this last time. If I did, it doesn't matter because it's cast on. But I purchased, this is the I'm the Gingerbread Man colourway. Let me just move the whole bag. And this is what it looks like skeined up. It is a mixture of gingerbready colour and then white and green and red sprinkles essentially. And I am also using in this project some of the leftover Filicolana Arvetta that I have. This is in the colour 334. And it's like a light baby pink. I was watching the Laura Penrose Vlogmas episodes. I have been obsessed with her Vlogmas, and it's something that I'm actually a few days behind on now. But she was talking about how she has this yarn and she was going to use a pink as like the pop of colour at the top of the sock, which is something that the Crazy Sock Lady does quite a lot. And I've also been watching her Vlogmas and seeing all her socks that have got the pop of colour at the top and decided I want to give it a go, and I loved the colour that Laura said she was going to do. So I basically copied them. So now you can see why I've spent no time on other things. This is the state of my most recent cast on. I'm pretty sure I casted this on mid last week. Today is Thursday. Did I cast this on at the beginning of this week? I have no idea when I cast this on. A few days ago. It really wasn't that long ago. And we've already turned the heel. So I'm just shoving all the ends in. This is my little pink pop of colour at the top. I've then done a 2x2 rib cuff, and then I am doing what is called the Twizzler socks pattern. I believe it's a free pattern and it's on my Ravelry. I will link the Ravelry project page below, but yeah, this is the Twizzler sock pattern. And then I just did the heel that was in the sock pattern, which is a heel flap and gusset, and it's a slip stitch heel, and then now I'm working the pattern on the top of the sock and then just the self-striping on the bottom. And I just think this is so cute. It's got a little Christmassy stitch marker. This is a Bubbles and Berries stitch marker that I bought from Ode. Really recommend her stitch markers. I think her shop is closed for the year now. I think she's just on her festive break, but in the new year I would definitely recommend some of those stitch markers if you love them, or if you love stitch markers, sorry. But yeah, this is my Twizzler sock. There isn't much to say about it other than I love the way the colour is working up. I love the way the pattern is working up. And now the bin men are here. Oh my lord, this episode is gonna be choppy and changey. Please bear with me while the bin men go past. Goodness me, it's chaos out there. There's cars and people asking the bin man for directions, and oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm knitting this sock on a 2.25mm needles because that's what the pattern recommends. I did check my gauge on my last set of socks that were 2.25mm because they were quite small on me, but I was knitting them at a 56 stitch stitch count, and the pattern for these socks is a 64 stitch count. So then I was thinking, is that going to be too big? I think I probably need to sit around the 60 stitch mark. But then I looked at my gauge in that last sock and it was smaller. So I had 10 stitches per 2.5 centimetres and the pattern wanted 8 stitches per 2.5 centimetres. So I decided, basically, long story short, that the 64 stitch gauge will probably work for me in this size. So we'll just see how we get on. But yeah, it's a super duper cute Christmas sock. Can't wait to wear them. I've got 2 pairs of Christmas socks so far. One is in the gingerbread colourway by West Yorkshire Spinners for last year, and the other is just a red and white sock with some reindeer on, and I wear them like until the cows come home in December. So having an extra pair for next year will be fab. I've also got another colourway that I'll show you in acquisitions in a minute, as well as my advents, which I think I am going to show you. I wasn't going to, but I just had a look, and this episode's going to be significantly shorter than normal, so I think I will pull out my advents and show you so far. I'll definitely do my 4 weekly advent anyway, so we'll see what we do in a minute, but this is my Christmas sock and my Christmas cast on in the Bird Street Yarns. So that is that, and my final whip for this episode. Now, moving on to something that should be a whip, considering we are doing Christmas on Christmas Eve with Angus's family, and I have a gift to knit for Angus's grandmother, who asked me for it in about July that I've not cast on yet. So this is a whip that should be a whip, but is currently not, and it is going to be a hot water bottle cover. Now, originally I had thought I want to do the Maxine hot water bottle cover by Laura Penrose. I bought the pattern as soon as it came out. I'm obsessed with the pattern, but it's for DK weight yarn, and I think, to be honest, it's going to take me too long based on how much time I've got now. Plus, my granny, I just call her Granny, so I'm just going to call her Granny, particularly or specifically asked for purple, and these are the only 2 purple yarns I've got. So this is the Peruvian Highland Wool by Filicolana in the colour 235, and it's this dark purpley plum colour. And then I have Drops Lima in the colour 4088, which is this lighter purple colour. And these 2 both came from yarn swaps with my knit night, which I haven't been to in ages, but these both came from that, and I'm going to be using these. These are not DK weight. I think the Peruvian Highland Wool says it's DK weight, and I think it's lying because it's definitely a heavy DK. And then the Lima, I think, does say that it's Aran or worsted. I can't remember which one. But you get 109 yards for 50 grams, or 100 meters. So it does say 200 meters for 100 grams, which is, I guess, DK, I think. I would be lying if I said I knew. if I had that knowledge in my head. I don't. So I'm going to have to do some more research, see if this will work with the DK weight of the Maxime. If not, I'm going to use something else. I have found a bunch of free hot water bottle patterns for slightly thicker yarn on Ravelry, so my secondary plan, if the Maxine doesn't work out, which I also think it won't because these are the only 2 purples I have, and you kind of need a minimum of 1 main colour and 3 non-main colours, contrast colours. So there's only so much I can do, basically. It's a bit of a waffle, apologies. So my second option is I have the Care Sweater pattern by the Creabea. I was a tester for the Care Sweater a long time ago, so what I might do is use one of the free hot water bottle patterns for slightly thicker yarn and then just insert the Care Sweater motif on the hot water bottle cover. My mum suggested that I knit a cable, but I think for Granny, she uses it for her sore knees and things like that, and I think having a cable would be too bumpy, too textured, whereas having just a colour work pattern will be nice. So my plan for today, can you hear my dog? Can you see my dog? He's just there and he's itching his face on the carpet. Albie, please no. Not just now. Yeah. No, Albie. Albie. Stop it. Stop it, you crazy dog. Just give me 5 more minutes and then you can rub. Thank you. What was I talking about? Yeah, so the plan for today is to finish the ribbing on my mum's jumper. I think I said I wanted to... He's just doing it again. Apologies if you can hear him. I think I wanted to do 6 more rows of the ribbing, so I'm going to get that done just after this episode's finished filming, and then I'm going to cast this on because it needs to be done ASAP Rocky. So yeah, that is what this will be for. It should be a whip, it's not. It will be by the end of today. So my final plan and sort of the next project I want to work on is something really small. I think with all of the big projects I've been working on recently, something small is definitely on the cards for me. And I have this lovely yarn that I picked up at the Scottish Yarn Festival this year from Bauble and Badger. It's in the colour Avalon and it's one of their extra fine merino skeins. And this is what it looks like, all caked up. And I have decided that the small pattern that I want to work on is just a pair of World's Simplest mittens. I made myself a pair of World's Simplest mittens, but fingerless, in a lovely pink yarn that I've been wearing non-stop, but I want to make a full set of mittens for now that it's pretty much winter here, and I thought this would be super soft and comfortable to do so in, so this will probably be one of my next cast-ons after the gift knits are out the way, because it will be a small quick win before I move on to something bigger. So this is also on the cards for me. The World's Simplest Mittens pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm pretty sure it's by Tin Can Knits, and I've used it already and I find it great. My mum has used it. She's knit 2 pairs of mittens, 3 pairs of mittens, 2 or 3 pairs of mittens from it. It's got multiple sizes for multiple weights of yarn, so this will come under the chunky weight, I think, and the one I've done so far is DK, so really easy to follow if you're looking for some mittens for this time of year, and you can also customise them super easy in terms of length and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great base pattern to work from, and it will be what I am casting on with this in the near future. Right then, I think we're on acquisitions. And I don't have many of them. I will do Advent separately, but I've got 3 acquisitions to show you. I posted a YouTube short about a bunch of stitch markers that I purchased, Christmassy ones, that I used as gifts as part of my Advent swaps, and then ones that I bought for myself. And while I was purchasing some of those, I also purchased a stitch marker for my mum as part of her Christmas gift. So it is from the company Cat Whiskers Crochet, and it is this adorable little cup of tea stitch marker, and it says a cup of tea solves everything. And my mum drinks tea like it's going out of fashion, and she's a knitter, so I thought this was the perfect combination. So I will be clipping this to the front of her zipper sweater before I wrap it up, and then that will be part of her Christmas gift. Going alongside the sort of accoutrements to knitting rather than going straight into yarn, and I purchased, please excuse me, oh that wasn't even the right bit. I can't remember if I've shown you these already, so apologies if it's a repeat, but I purchased these again from Ginger Twist Studio, and these are the Pigeon Wishes buttons, and I've purchased these to replace the ones I've currently got on my Leith cardigan. My Leith cardigan buttons are a fraction too small, which means they just fall out of the buttonholes, so I've decided to pick up these, which I think go with my Leith cardigan colours, which I'll insert a picture of if I can. So I will be adapting my Leith soon to put these on. And then my final acquisition, like I said, didn't have very much, is my other Bird Street yarn that I picked up. So when I went on and saw that I'm a Gingerbread Man was still in stock, I also saw this, which is their Christmas 1974 colourway. So I bought it in their sparkle sock base, so it's got a bit of silver stellina in it. It's got this green and then these neon sort of Christmas light speckles throughout, which is just amazing. And I think for this one, because I did a pattern for the I'm a Gingerbread Man, I think I'll just knit a vanilla sock in these. I wanted to cake this up the same time I caked up my I'm a Gingerbread Man, but during the winding process, my, oh my god, what's it called? Swift fell down twice during winding I'm a Gingerbread Man, and it drove me insane, and I didn't know why I did it, so I decided not to cast this on because I wanted it to be a fun process rather than one that made me want to pull my eyes out. So I will be skeins this up soon, and I think these will be my next sock cast on, she says, knowing full well she's about to show you some of her other favourite colours she's got from her advents. But this one's adorable, and it is, the green and the sparkle does make it look a bit festive, but we are gonna fall out. Oh my god. I don't think it's too festive. Long story short is I don't think it's too festive. It could be something that you wear throughout the rest of the year as well. So I'm not in too much of a rush to use this. But yeah, Christmas 1974, Bird Street yarn, super soft, loving the way it knits up in the other colourway, so would highly recommend them as a brand. Okay, and then because it's the festive season, I thought I would do a little additional thing to the podcast, and that is to show you some of the things I've received, some of my advents. So if you are getting either the Homespun House Weekly Advent and for some reason you haven't caught up with it, or you are getting the Beehive Yarns Patisserie Advent and again you haven't caught up with it, then please look away because or end the video here because I am going to be showing some of those yarns. But yeah, so I guess the first thing I want to start with is we did Friendsmas the first week in December with some of our best friends from university that came and stayed with us, and myself and Hannah, the other lovely lady in the group, decided to just gift each other things. The boys, we usually do a Secret Santa with the boys, but it means we end up buying things that we don't actually want, or receiving things that we don't actually want, so we decided to just do a really purposeful, I'll buy for Hannah, Hannah will buy for me swap this year. And the thing I asked for was the Knitivation Stitch Dictionary. I had seen lots about this online. I had watched the, what is he called? Flannel and Pearls, that's him. The Flannel and Pearls videos. He is phenomenal, sorry. If you haven't watched his episodes, his podcast or his Round the Table, if you haven't watched any of his stuff, he does knit with me where he literally just sits and chats, and it's so calming. If you haven't seen him, sorry, I'm just gonna put this down. If you have not watched his videos, please go and see his stuff. He is phenomenal at what he's decided to do. He's found a niche in the podcast knitting sphere and he's run with it, and it's epic. So if you haven't seen his stuff, I'll put his name on the screen. I'll also tag him below in the description box. Please go and look at his stuff because I could not rave more about his stuff. What a phenomenal human being. Sorry. Anyway, he did a little bit of a chat about these books, and there's a couple of them. There's this one, this is the newest one, and then I believe there is an older one, and I'd be lying if I said I knew the name of it. Bear with. Does the book tell you what the name of the other one is? Sometimes it does, sometimes it does. No, this one does not. But there is another one by the same author that are really good books for discovering different colour work techniques and patterns. This one is the Knitivation Stitch Dictionary, and all of these motifs that you see on the front cover you get charts for. Not only do you get charts for, you get words and instructions, and I can't really show you it because I don't want to get in trouble, but it comes with a chart. It tells you what the multiple of the chart is. You've literally got everything. Like there's one called Porcelain Throne that's literally the shape of a toilet, and there's florals, there's wave patterns, there's graphic patterns, and it's amazing. And I got this from Hannah, and I just sat and looked through it one day because it's so amazing. So I'm also asking this year for the Tin Can Knits pattern, like booklet. What is it called? Why is my memory so terrible today? I've asked for the Tin Can Knits pattern for Christmas, and I think this will be epic to be able to add things into those patterns. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful hardcover book. So I would recommend this if you are looking for a last minute Christmas gift for a knitter, or a last minute Christmas gift to ask for. So yeah, I got this for Christmas and I just wanted to take time to rave about it. Right, now we're on to Advent. So I'm going to start with the more simpler of the two, which is my 4 Sunday Advent calendar that I got from A Homespun House. I have also been loving the A Homespun House Vlogmases. I know they post their Vlogmases on Patreon, but she is also posting them sort of delayed. So at the moment she's posting the first week in December ones now, and it's obviously the 21st of December. I've been enjoying their yarn and their vlogs so much that I am considering becoming a Patreon in the new year. Becoming a patron on their Patreon in the new year, because I love their vlogs and all their colorways and everything else. So yeah, if you haven't opened your first 3 Sundays of your 4 Sundays of Advent, then look away. But I'm going to show you the first 3. So this was week 1. And this one is called The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And it is stunning. It's like a greeny blue main colour, and then a pink contrasting set. Now there was 2 options for size. You could have got a 70 gram sock set, which was 50 grams of main colour, 20 grams of contrast, or you could get the 120, so 100 grams and 20 grams. Now, I worked out that for my socks, for most of the socks that I like to make, I need just over 50 grams, I think, to make a like full length sock, and I didn't want to be playing yarn chicken, so I decided to just buy the bigger one. It was more expensive, but now I'm thinking I can get a long pair and then probably a pair of shorties. And actually, like with this colour, there's lots of blues and things in it, so I could use a blue mini skein and make, or a black or a dark green mini skein, and make a pair of socks for Angus, and then make a pair of shorties for me, and I would have more than enough in this sock set. So that was Advent week 1. The only thing that upset me a little bit is that I didn't realise that A Homespun House would post on their Instagram them working on these socks basically on Sunday morning. I think they probably post it about lunchtime, but on the first week I hadn't opened mine yet. I was waiting until the evening to open it because we hadn't been home. And then I went on Instagram and saw that they were working on a pair of socks, and I thought, surely that's not the Advent sock. And then I opened it and was like, oh, no, they have. So I was spoiled on the first week. So I now know to open this first thing on a Sunday morning. But that did annoy me a little bit, because I think most brands will wait and post it the next day, or post a spoiler. But that's just something I didn't know that they would post it. So now I know if I'm to get this next year, which I think I might, I would just avoid Instagram until I'd open my Advents, or just open them in the morning like a normal person. So this was week 1. Week 2 has to be my favourite one so far. This is called Twinkling Lights, and it is so amazing. So it's like this beigey light pink base with all of these multicoloured speckles in it, and it's phenomenal. And then this contrast is purple, and it has stellina in it, and I think it's so cute. I haven't seen a sock set where the main colour doesn't have stellina but the contrast does, and I think that's such a cute idea. So this is definitely my favourite set out of the 3. When I opened it I was just like, and that's why I don't know if I'm going to be casting on my Bird Street Yarns socks next, or these ones, because I love these. Again, these ones don't scream Christmas to me, so although they have a Christmassy name, and I totally get why they're in a Christmassy advent, I could wear these all year and I wouldn't be fussy about it. So I think I will be just casting on socks that I can wear all year round. So this is week 2. And then the final one, week 3, is this one, and it's called Yuletide Carols. And this is a pink base with purpley speckles in. It's also got some brownie speckles, and then a like grey taupey contrast colour. And this one is probably my least favourite. not for any other reason than the contrast isn't typically something I would go for, which I can definitely change. I could use that contrast with the green from the first one for Angus's socks, for example, and then just do 2 pinks together. But yeah, there's 2 things I want to say about this advent. One, and they're both very contradicting. One, I don't know why, but I had assumed that they would be festive themed. And I know the names are festive, but the colourways aren't particularly festive. However, point 2 is I quite like that they're not festive. I don't know why I had the expectation that they would be festive. Nothing said they would be festive. None of the advertising said it would be Christmassy. I just assumed an advent sock at Christmas would be Christmassy. But I quite like that they're not. Now, I love the ones I've got, the gingerbread ones and the Bird Street Yarns Christmas 1974 ones. But like I say, you can only wear them at Christmas time, really. Whereas these I can wear all the time. So it is a positive. It's just a little bit, I was like, oh, wish they were a fraction more Christmassy. But that's fine. I'm in 2 minds. I'm doing an internal battle with myself as to whether I'm pleased or not with the fact that they're not super festive. But yeah, I think this is adorable. I think it'll work up to really, really cute socks. The second one blew me away. So this one I think was always going to be a bit of it wasn't as good as the second one. But I'm looking forward to the 4th one. The 4th and final sock set, which I'll be opening on Sunday. I'll have to take it with me to my in-laws because that's where we will be. Or open it up first thing in the morning so I'm not spoiled. So this is my 3rd week of Advent. And then my second, I have 3 Advents. I know I went over the top. That Homespun House one I bought last minute because I just saw it and was like, and last minute was like October. The patisserie, the Beehive Yarns patisserie one I bought June. I paid my first installment of it, so I knew that one was coming. And then I did the Scrappy Advent swap. I'm not going to show you my Scrappy Advent swap because that's one that Sharith and I just did together, and she sent me some gorgeous yarns and I'm hoping to split them into 2 balls and then make a pair of scrappy socks with all of the ones she's sent over. She's also been so generous and sent me so many like stitch marker sets and stuff like that, and it made me feel so guilty that I didn't give her as much as she gave me. Even because I thought, oh, you're making a project bag, that's above and beyond. And then when I opened how many stitch markers and stuff she's added into the parcel, I felt really bad. But alas, there's not much I can do about that now. So I'm not going to show you my Scrappy Advent swap, but I'm going to show you my patisserie yarns. Now, this is a 24 mini skein advent calendar, and then I opted to buy the big 25th skein. So I'm not going to show you every single one because I might insert a photo because I'm going to lie them all down on the floor. So here's a photo of what they all look like, but I am going to show you some of my favourites. I also haven't opened, there's this little box. I don't know what this is. I think it might be stitch markers. It sounds like it might be stitch markers. Might be something, it might be like a sweetie or something. Unknown. This is an unknown box, but I haven't opened it yet, and I kind of want to open it on Christmas, so that's staying shut. But what also came with the Advent is this adorable little bag, Let Them Wind Cakes. So this Advent is based off of the Marie Antoinette film. Now, did I get that right? Is that actually what the film's called? Yeah, Sophie Coppola's film, Marie Antoinette. So that's obviously why it says let them eat cake, or let them wind cake. And I just think it's a really cute bag. I haven't been using it. Again, it's been sitting in my, why can't I fold this? It's been sitting in my Advent box, but I will be using it probably to store these. My idea for this Advent calendar is to make a Stella quilt cushion. I wanted to be doing it throughout December. Gift knits have stopped me doing that, so again, that's something I want to cast on pretty soon. I've got a white DK weight strand upstairs that I am going to use as the main colour, and then these colours work so beautifully together. I think they're going to make an amazing Stella quilt cushion, so that is also on the cards for me. But I'm going to pop over, lie them all out on the floor, pick up my few favourites, and then I'll be back to show you my favourites, and then we will be signing off. So I'm just back from laying them all out, and I have to say, I had been opening a few of the last few days and thinking, oh, that's quite similar to one we've seen before, but I hadn't laid them all out next to each other. Last year I took them out of, I did a sad vent last year, and I took them out and I laid them next to each other and left them somewhere. This year I'd been putting them back in their bags and I was thinking, oh, they're all quite similar, that's a little bit annoying. But I've just laid them out and I am now obsessed with how it looks. It is amazing. I think it's really, really gorgeous. Some of the last few days have been, they've been more like browns and chocolatey patisserie items, and they're not really my vibe. But again, I think I got mine in a sock, like a sock yarn, so I could use them as mini skeins for socks for Angus, not a bother at all. But all of the colours go super well together that I think they're going to make an amazing Stella quilt cushion. So I think these are 20 gram minis. I would be lying if I said I knew, and I've picked 3 of my favourites, even though a lot of them were amazing. It was difficult, and then I'm going to show you today's one, which is the 21st of December. So the first one that I'm going to show you is this gorgeous like light green colour. It's got speckles through it. This is day 2, this was December the 2nd's colour, and it does have a name. BRB, I'll get the name. Also, yes, I'm still in my pyjamas, don't judge me. Ugh. So this is called Harmony, which is just, yeah, again, day 2, super adorable. The next one I want to show you is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was day 5, and it's this beautiful baby pink with some aqua and pink speckles in. And this is Marie Antoinette herself, according to this menu. And then I want to show you day 7, which is this gorgeous teal colour. Teal is my favourite colour, so it's a gorgeous teal with some pink and purple speckles in it. And this is Petit Foie. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Petit Foie. And then today, December 21st, is this like really pastel pink with some gorgeous yellow pops in it. And this, day 21, oh god, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. Vacherin. That is, I'm so sorry if I've just offended you. Vacherin, I'm gonna go with, and I'll write it on the screen because I do not know how to pronounce that. I've been trying to avoid looking at the next day because on day 1 I looked at this, saw it was pistachio and knew it would be a pistachio colour. However, I have just seen it tomorrow, so it's something to do with orange, so I'm assuming there'll be some sort of orange in tomorrow's one. So I'm going to turn that over before I get confused or see any more. But this is 4 of my Beehive Yarns Patisserie Advent Calendar mini skeins. And I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to make a Stella quilt cushion out of these, and maybe a blanket also. I've still got my crochet blanket that I've not finished. Peep the fact I didn't mention it today. So I might make a blanket. The Laura Penrose blanket, Sweet Shop blanket, is in my Ravelry patterns, so I might make that. Or I might do some scrappy socks with these. I haven't decided. I think scrappy socks I'll wear more often. Although if I'm making a Stella quilt cushion, I might decide that I really need to have the matching blanket. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on. But that is everything for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna flip to past Jo, who filmed a lovely outro with Albie earlier. So thank you so much for listening to everything I had to say today. Apologies that it was a little bit more rambly and broken up than usual with the bin men and everything else. Can you calm down, please? Can you sit down? No? Okay. But yeah, thank you for joining me today for episode 6 and the final episode of 2023. It's been lovely to speak with you today. I hope you have a fabulous festive season with whoever you get to celebrate it with and whatever you choose to celebrate. It has been and continues to be a busy festive season for me, but I'm looking forward to a few days of relaxing and getting some knitting done after these gift knits are done. So Merry Christmas, and I wish you a Happy New Year, and I'll speak to you next